I should have known by the way he talked about my sister. Too familiar, too frequent, too curious. But love makes you blind, and hope makes you deaf. My name's Isabella, and up until a few months ago, I was engaged to a man I thought I knew better than myself. His name is Daniel. Tall, charming, the kind of man who makes strangers smile and waiters give extra napkins. My friends called him a modern prince. My mom said I was finally in safe hands, and my sister, she smiled every time he entered the room, not just with her mouth, but with her eyes. But I only noticed that in hindsight. Back then, I thought I was lucky. Flowers every Friday, breakfast in bed on Sundays, a shared Spotify playlist titled Are Always. He painted a future with houses, kids, travel, a perfect script, and I memorized every line. The only thing that ever truly bothered me, and I kept swallowing it down, was how often he brought up my sister Bianca. She's got such a spark, don't you think? You two are total opposites. She's so wild, so free. I thought he was just trying to understand me better. Now I know he was fantasizing. Then came the ring. Not the one on my finger. The other one, the one I found inside a velvet box buried deep in my own purse. A dainty silver band with a tiny blue gem, Bianca's style to the letter. Still had the tag on it. And a note. For B. My stomach turned. Daniel had never given me anything with a tag, let alone a note. And he never, ever called my sister B. That was her own nickname, the one she used online, in texts, everywhere. Still, I tried to explain it away. Maybe it's for her birthday. Maybe he meant to surprise me and asked for my help and forgot to mention it. But deep down, I already knew. The truth always whispers before it screams. And the scream came 2 days later when Daniel was in the shower and his phone lit up on the couch. B. You drive me crazy. I still smell you. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just sat there, staring at the screen, frozen. Because some betrayals don't break you. They freeze you, like your body is waiting for your soul to catch up. And in that frozen silence, something shifted inside me. I wasn't going to yell. I wasn't going to beg. And I damn sure wasn't going to let them see me broken. If they wanted to play with fire, then I'd light the candle. On my terms. In my house. And on a night they'd never forget. The days that followed were surreal. I went full actress. Smiles. Small talk. Soft kisses. Like nothing had changed. But everything had. While he kissed my forehead, I was memorizing his lies. While she offered to help with the wedding, I was watching her body language. Her overdone enthusiasm. Her fake laughter. They thought they were being clever, but I was wide awake now. Daniel suddenly had urgent meetings on Sunday afternoons, the same ones he used to spend making us pancakes. Bianca started dropping by more often. With wedding stuff, she said, to help with the invites, to bond with me. She brought wine and compliments and that same damn smile. You've always been so strong, Isa, she told me, pouring another glass. I smiled back. You've always been so consistent. B. And while they played their roles, I played mine. Behind the scenes I was collecting screenshots, phone records, location history that showed Bianca coincidentally near Daniel's apartment. Far too often. They weren't careful anymore, because they didn't see me anymore. That was their mistake. I saw everything. And the more I saw, the calmer I became. Because I realized something important. This betrayal wasn't about me. It was about them, two broken people using each other to feel whole. And they would break each other soon enough. But I wouldn't scream. I wouldn't expose them on social media. I had something else in mind. A dinner. Just the three of us. I texted Bianca. Hey, let's do a special dinner before the wedding chaos kicks in. You and Daniel mean so much to me. I want a quiet moment with just us. She said yes, of course. Daniel too. He even offered to bring wine. Perfect. I picked a date, a Friday evening. 1 month before the wedding. Then I sat down and wrote 2 letters, one for him, one for her. No insults, no melodrama, just facts. Calm, sharp, unshakable. His letter ended with a QR code linked to a private folder of proof. Hers included the receipt for the ring and the words, "If he did this to me, imagine what he'll do to you." I printed them, placed each letter in a plain envelope, set the table, lit candles, wore red, and waited. I wasn't just hosting dinner. I was preparing the stage for their collapse. But what I didn't expect was that the real collapse had already begun. They arrived right on time. Daniel with that same smile he wore when lying came easy. Bianca with a bottle of wine and an almost too bright voice. Isa, this is so sweet. We need more nights like this. Oh. You will remember this one forever. I welcomed them warmly, hugged them both, played the perfect hostess. We laughed, talked about the wedding. I asked Bianca to be my maid of honor and she practically jumped out of her chair with excitement. Daniel squeezed my hand under the table, and I smiled, because I knew what was coming. After the main course, I stood up. I forgot something. Just a little surprise for you both. I returned with the 2 envelopes, laid one in front of each of them. Daniel looked confused, like he thought it might be a gift. Bianca grinned. Ah, Isa. What is this? You're so sentimental. I said nothing, just sat down and waited. Daniel opened his first. His eyes scanned the page once, then again, faster, slower, then, frozen. His hands started to shake. Bianca opened hers next. It took her longer to understand. But when she did, I watched every drop of blood drain from her face. She looked up at me. How did you? I took a sip of wine. I paid attention. Daniel tried to speak. Issa, listen. It's not what you think. I laughed. Not loud. Just enough. Oh, I think it's exactly what I thought. For once. Bianca's voice went sharp. You planned this? A dinner to humiliate us? I tilted my head. No. A dinner to say goodbye. The humiliation was on you. Her face twisted. Daniel stood up, reaching for me. Please, Isapare, we can fix this. I messed up. But we know, Daniel, I interrupted. You made choices. And now you live with them. Bianca stood too. You told me you were going to leave her. She snapped at him. Oh, there it was. Daniel froze, caught, finally, between his two lies. And for the first time, he looked small, not charming, not powerful, just small. I stood up, walked to the door, opened it calmly. Get out, both of you. They stood frozen for a beat too long. Then Bianca turned and left without a word. Daniel followed slowly, but just before crossing the door, he looked back at me. I didn't mean to hurt you, he said. I held his gaze and replied, no, you just didn't care if you did. And with that, I closed the door, not just on him, on all of it. But what came after caught even me off guard. That night, I slept like a stone, not because I was over it, but because I was done carrying it. The next morning, Bianca blocked me everywhere: Instagram, WhatsApp, even LinkedIn. Daniel, on the other hand, did the opposite. He started reaching out. Emails full of "I never meant to hurt you," texts begging for just one conversation, and voice notes that somehow turned his betrayal into my coldness. Classic. But I didn't reply. I didn't even open most of them, because I finally understood some people only feel sorry when the consequences show up at the door. And I wasn't interested in playing therapist to the men who wrecked my trust. Instead, I focused on myself, on reclaiming pieces of me I had buried for years. I started going on early morning walks again, reopened my sketchbook, reorganized my apartment, tossing every single thing that reminded me of us. Even our wedding playlist, the one we made together on Spotify, got deleted. I made a new one, just for me. Every song a reminder of my survival. Meanwhile, the whispers began. Friends messaged me. Hey, what happened? I saw Daniel at the bar. He looked rough. Bianca's been missing work. I said nothing, because I didn't need to say anything. Truth has a way of surfacing when silence is strong enough. The weight of their choices was catching up to them without me having to lift a finger. And just when I thought the storm had passed, my mother called. She had always favored Bianca, brushed off her selfishness, called it just her way. And now, after everything she said, maybe you overreacted. It was a mistake between adults. You could have forgiven them. That's when something snapped in me. I wasn't just done with Daniel and Bianca. I was done being the family scapegoat. So I told her calmly, I didn't destroy anything. I just stopped pretending everything was okay. She went silent, and that silence told me everything I needed to know. I hung up, and I haven't spoken to her since. Because healing isn't just cutting off the obvious harm. It's stepping away from anyone who tells you your pain is too loud. And for the first time in a long time, I finally felt quiet. But not empty, just free. 3 months have passed. No wedding, no fiancé, no sister. Just space. Clean, wide, quiet space. The kind of space where I can finally hear myself think. I moved out of the apartment Daniel and I shared. It's smaller, simpler, but every inch of it is mine. I keep fresh flowers on the table, not because of a tradition he started, but because I like how they smell in the morning. I bought myself a new coffee mug. It says, "Unbothered." It makes me smile every time I use it. Some days still sting. Not because I miss them, but because I mourn the version of me who tried so hard to be loved by people who saw me as replaceable. But that girl is gone now. She left the moment I opened the door and told them to leave. The moment I chose self-respect over drama. The moment I didn't scream, and still said everything that needed to be said. Daniel called once more. Just one last time. I didn't answer, but I listened to the voicemail. He sounded tired, defeated. He said, I guess I lost you. And I think I started losing you long before that night. He was right. He lost me the moment he chose attention over integrity. He lost me when he looked at my sister like she was a challenge, and I was a comfort. He lost me when he underestimated my silence. I never screamed, never posted, never begged. I just left, and I never looked back. Now, I don't wait for apologies. I don't fantasize about explanations. And I don't need people to understand why I left. I know why. And that's enough. I'm not who I was when this began. And that's the real win.